A mother is on her knees in the middle of an ordinary suburban road. The sun is falling, engines hum, a shopping strip breathes quietly on the corner. And then, violence arrives. A sound so sudden, so final, it splits the moment in two. She collapses, blood spreading across the asphalt. Officers rush in, voices overlap, hands press against wounds, and in those final seconds, between breaths that are slipping away, she says a name. Not a guess, not confusion, a name. That single word becomes the beginning of everything, because what police are about to uncover isn't just a murder, it's something far worse. She was 25 years old. A mother, a daughter, a friend. Someone who loved music, who collected sneakers, who laughed loudly and without hesitation. And above all else, she loved her son. To her, he was everything, the center of every plan, every decision, every hope for the future. She wasn't perfect, but she was trying to build something stable, something safe. Photos show her smiling in a purple sweater, head tilted back, completely alive in that moment. But behind those photos, there were cracks forming. Messages, short, urgent, almost panicked. "Call me. I'm scared. He's here." Those weren't just words. They were warnings. And no one knew yet how serious those warnings really were. June 27th. Early evening, a normal day, ending like any other. At the intersection of Ridgeway Road and Hope Chapel Road, life moves quietly. Cars pass through, people run errands, nothing feels unusual. Until a witness notices something. A woman on her knees, arguing with a man. At first, it looks like any heated argument. But then, something changes. The tone sharpens, the body language stiffens, fear becomes visible. And then, a gunshot. One, loud, unmistakable, echoing through the intersection. The woman collapses instantly. The man turns, runs, jumps into a gray SUV, and disappears. Just like that. Within seconds, it's over. But for her, time is still moving. Officers arrive, kneel beside her, trying to hold on to what's already slipping away. And somehow, she finds the strength to speak. She looks at them, and she names him. That name changes everything, because now this isn't an unknown suspect. This is a man with a history, a record, a past filled with violence, weapons, arrests. Police move quickly. They pull files, cross-check identities, track known addresses. Witnesses describe the vehicle, a gray SUV, slightly damaged, easy to recognize if you know what to look for. License plate readers pick up movement. Cell phone data places him near the scene. Piece by piece, the picture becomes clear. This wasn't random. This was personal. And now, it's a manhunt. He was 35, known to law enforcement, known in certain neighborhoods, a man who carried a reputation with him, not just for crime, but for unpredictability. People who knew him described someone intense, controlled on the surface, but volatile underneath. The kind of person who didn't need to say much because everyone already understood. His past didn't prove guilt, but it told investigators something important. He was capable. And right now, he was missing. The search begins immediately. Local police, federal agencies, tip lines, everyone is looking. Every sighting matters. Every call gets logged. Someone thinks he saw him at a gas station. Another claims he was in a parking lot hours away. But each lead, it falls apart. He's moving, hiding, slipping through gaps. And every hour he remains free, the risk grows.
because this isn't just a suspect anymore. This is a man who has already killed.
Then finally, a break. A location tied to him. A house on Ravenwood Drive. Police surround it quietly, blocking roads, positioning units, preparing for anything. Inside, someone is there. Officers call out, demand surrender. Minutes pass. Then, movement. One person exits, hands raised, then another, then a third. All detained, all questioned, but he's still inside, and he's not responding. The standoff stretches on. Hours pass. Negotiators try everything. Calm voices, firm commands, promises of safety. Nothing works. The silence inside the house becomes its own answer. Eventually, they send in a drone. It moves slowly through the house, room by room, scanning, watching, recording, until it finds him, inside a bedroom, lying still, motionless. The man they were searching for is already dead, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Just like that, the manhunt ends, but the case is far from over. Because as investigators begin processing the house, something feels off. Small details out of place, things that don't add up. And then they find it. Evidence suggesting something else happened here, something hidden. That discovery leads them to another location, a different property, and inside they find bags. Black plastic bags, sealed, stacked. When those bags are opened, the investigation changes forever. Inside are human remains, not the woman from the road, someone else, a second victim. He was 56, the homeowner, the man who had allowed the suspect into his house, given him shelter, trusted him, and for that, he paid with his life. The violence here was even more disturbing. Gunshots, blunt force trauma, and something worse, an attempt to erase the body, to hide the crime completely. But it didn't work, because what was hidden was eventually found. Now the case becomes two investigations in one, and forensic evidence takes over. Ballistics tie weapons to wounds. DNA links people to places. Digital evidence fills in the gaps. Deleted messages, location data, timelines. Every detail matters. Every fragment tells part of the story. And slowly, that story becomes undeniable. Because he wasn't alone. There were others in that house. People who saw something, people who knew something, and according to investigators, people who helped him hide, helped him move evidence, helped him cover it up. And that changes everything, because this is no longer just about one killer, it's about a group and the choices they made. When investigators reconstruct the timeline, it becomes chillingly clear. One murder leads to another. One act of violence triggers a chain reaction. And at every step, there were chances to stop it. But those chances were missed or ignored. Interrogations begin. Questions get sharper. Details get tested. Stories start to break, because facts don't bend, phone records don't lie, and when those facts collide with what people claim, the truth starts to surface, piece by piece, layer by layer, until there's nowhere left to hide. With the main suspect dead, the case moves to court against those who helped. Prosecutors build their case carefully, not just what happened, but who enabled it.
Defense attorneys push back, arguing fear, confusion, lack of intent. And in the courtroom, every word matters, because now justice depends on interpretation. For the families, there is no real closure, only answers, and even those come at a cost. A child grows up without a mother, a home stands empty, a community carries questions that may never be fully answered. She named him. In her final moments, she gave investigators the truth, and that truth uncovered something much darker than anyone expected. Because this wasn't just a murder, it was a chain of decisions, failures, silences, and choices. And in the end, those choices revealed everything. If you enjoy real stories that uncover the truth behind the headlines, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because some stories don't just need to be told, they need to be remembered.